The closest friend I ever had in my life cheated with me. I've never felt this low in my life. It's now been around 3 months since everything. This lasted for around 5 months. Hey all. I really can't talk about this to anyone without hurting her. So sit down, this is a doozy. Needless to say, I have not so great mental health. In high school, I was in a pretty bad, emotionally abusive relationship. I was pretty badly abused and pushed everyone I knew away, and was in a pretty much severe depression and severe anxiety for around 6 years. I assumed one day I would sleep it off and think normal, but that never happened. Anyways, I get to college and really don't put myself out there to meet anyone else. Come to my senior year and my grades are pretty good, but this is when I, 21M, meet her, 19F, and I think she's gorgeous. I eventually work the effort to talk to her, and we become okay friends for about a week or so. During this time, she would always message me, and one time we stayed up until 2 a.m. in the university rec room just talking. This felt pretty damn good. For once, it felt like somebody actually wanted to know about me. During this time, she even looked up my house address and parents' Facebook without me even telling her their names. Anyways, a few days or about a week later, she says she's going on a trip to visit her BF. I was devastated and cried. She says, "That must be a punch in the balls. You had me mind *ked there for a while though. Being in a LDR, you're always looking for something new, etc. I always had this mindset that this guy is great, but I gotta tell him I have a boyfriend, etc. Even when I asked about her bio once. This is all on me, however. I should have asked. I cried for other unhappy personal reasons as well. It probably should have ended there. But it didn't. The next day I ask if she was okay, if we were still friends, and she says yes. She apologizes for not telling me sooner. We become pretty great friends. Eventually we tell each other about pretty personal secrets. I tell her my high school experience. I tell her things I have never told anyone else in my life, like my *I-side attempt in high school. She helps me explore some things about me, like my *sexuality. She even puts makeup on me, which I love. And she reveals she also did not have the greatest high school experience, and she has self-harm scars. She later tells she since she has a pattern of cheating in relationships. This only makes me feel more like a piece of shit, and you'll find out later. I genuinely, for the first time in my life, feel a purely platonic connection with someone. The nights where we sat by the pond for hours, just talking about movies and TV shows, filled my soul with so much warmth. I loved these moments. I truly developed a platonic connection with her and cared so much about her. She's in a LDR with this guy who I don't know. She later says she never brings him up because it makes me sad and I look away. Should have ended then. We begin hanging out quite regularly. I do some things I shouldn't have done at this time. I notice she vapes and smokes, so I begin to buy her vapes. She never asked me to. And I begin to vape and smoke cigarettes. She never asked me to. Looking back, this should not have happened, but I genuinely enjoyed seeing her happy and talking to her. She used to always say with the vapes, "Now I have a reason to talk to you." Why? Why would you need a reason to talk to your friend? It only made me want to buy them more. Things start getting bad, and she even mentions at this point she's likely emotionally cheating with me, which only scares me. That any day, any moment, any time, this person who I genuinely enjoy and is my best friend could have to cut all contact with me. My mental health becomes absolutely horrendous due to this, and this was always a very scary fear I had throughout all this. I even tell her at one point it feels like I'm on a seesaw and am stuck and have to constantly battle catching feelings and keeping my only close friend. If I really cared about her, it should have ended here, but it didn't. I should have stopped it. She begins to touch me, relatively platonically, asking to bite me, biting me, rubbing my chest and caressing my arms, and sharing food. At first I sit there and don't touch back and sit there. I don't want to hurt her. Why would I hurt someone I care about? After a while I call her out on this and say, like, "Why are you touching me? I really can't touch back." She says something along the lines of, "I think I'm using you as a replacement for the lack of attention in a LDR." She later says she thought about it and I can't provide that for her and she's just showing her affection. But this continues. What was I doing wrong? Why can't I provide that? Eventually I convince myself it's after a lot of weeks that it's platonic and I touch back with the same things: the arm on the shoulder rubbing, etc. We would have smokes together roughly every night, which would usually be hidden in a stair enclave where we would hug each other, etc. One of her responses during this time, when I mentioned how bad it would look if somebody saw us doing this, she said, "It would be worse for you? How would it be worse for someone who is not known to be in a relationship?" My self-esteem was the lowest it has ever been in its life. I told myself that perhaps one day things would somehow magically change. Someone finally seemed to really like me. Eventually, as you could imagine, things escalate. This involves her sitting on my lap once, forward-facing, saying inappropriate things, etc., in her room, her letting me rub her thighs and do her hair and rub her feet and bare legs. I should have cut contact, but she was the only person who knew me and understood me in my life. I didn't want to hurt her. I didn't want to hurt myself, but I did both. The big event happens just before Christmas. We go out and we cuddle for a while in the back seat of my car, where she asked if we could cuddle in the back seat. Then we head back. While in the car prior, she shows me lewds on her phone. I showed her a lewd of mine prior. We both get buzzed, then we go out to the pond and we're looking in each other's eyes, holding each other, and she asked to kiss my cheek. I say sure. She kisses my cheek and my chin just below my lips, which makes me feel euphoric. Then says, "You know, it would still be platonic if I let you kiss me, then I wouldn't actually be kissing you." I wanted to so very bad. I wanted to with my whole being. I lean out before eventually saying, "You have a boyfriend. If I kiss you, you're going to hurt yourself, and I don't want to hurt you." She says, "Wow, you have more morals than I do. Must be because you're older, etc., and tries to move on from it fast and dance with me. Well, I emotionally break the F***ck down like, "You've hurt yourself because of this for F***ck's sake." She says, "I didn't want to kiss you. I love my boyfriend. Even if I broke up, I wouldn't want to ever date you. You have too much baggage. If we kissed, I would block you and stop talking to you." The person who just asked me to kiss them, the person who has been biting me and touching me for weeks, wouldn't even date me? Would block me if I did what she told me to do? This absolutely destroyed me. I didn't know what to think. I basically had to yell at her and ask her, "Why did you just try to kiss me?" Anyways, this ends with both of us crying, her saying, "I don't know what to do with the love given to me," etc., me almost puking, and eventually with me consoling her. The next day we go get yogurt, and I say she's my best friend, and we simply need strong boundaries because I don't want to hurt her. If I should have stopped any time, it should have been now. I buy her a Christmas present and things, and okay. Breaks go by and I'm mentally gone. I'm at the lowest I've ever felt in my life. I feel insane, depressed, just psychotic. She messages and we talk every day of the breaks. We say how much we miss each other, etc. She's my buddy, she really is. She knows everything about me. I know a lot about her, and she's honestly my best friend, and I love talking to her. She always would be there for me. I really appreciated her. We had a lot in common, but I was hurting extremely bad. I felt like I was in an awful position. Anyways, we return from the break into the new semester, and I feel like I'm being used. I feel like a doormat. I feel like dirt. Things escalate here. I help her code and give her anything and everything she needs to succeed. I loved watching her succeed, because she's my best friend, you know? Anyways, things get pretty bad, and we hang out a lot. We always hug, and I play with her hair and share our food, and we're pretty close. At one point, I kiss her cheek for a week before realizing that's weird and made her uncomfortable and stop it. There was a week where she would cuddle with me in my bed, and I moved her hand from my chest once, saying, "Stop, I don't want to hurt you." She would say how happy I make her, and we would rub our faces together and rub our noses together. We would watch shows together, and I would rub her legs and put my hand around her. Looking back now, it makes me feel sick and gross and confused. I convinced myself it was platonic. I would pretty much be repeating often during any intimate event, "I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to be the person to hurt you." But it made me feel so very good. How do I navigate this? She would say I was the highlight of her days, the highlight of her semester. How sad she was I graduate soon. How she wishes I was in her grade. How I'm not a chore to talk to or hang out with. I certainly didn't fully stop these physical actions now because I was selfish, because I was ignorant. She would rub my head as we drove, and put her arm down my shirt and while I was driving, etc. She would often also say, "Why haven't you led me yet? You must hate me, etc." But why would I? She was my closest friend I ever had in my life. Things get super bad here. We head out and I buy her a vape. She did not ask, and we have another tough conversation about things with the usual. I'm not breaking up with my boyfriend, but you're so lovable, and I get super emotional and hurt. I really didn't want to hurt anybody. Anyways, I get drunk. She's sober, and she lets me into her room an hour later as we were going to go see live music, and she sits on my lap again, forward-facing, and non-platonic things occurred. It doesn't go as far as S*X, but a line is crossed, and we both immediately stop. But she cheated. I hurt her. I hurt her bad. I never wanted to hurt her. I never wanted to hurt anybody. The guilt is beyond anything I ever experienced, and I can't even understand how she feels. She downplays it. I almost cut myself because of the shame I felt that night. The next day I'm crying really bad to her and tell her she should probably tell her BF if she really loves him. She says, "Okay, I will. He will still love me though. Doesn't this scare you?" IF*CK around. This guy called me cute the other day. You deserve better. I then tell her not to tell her BF, because I'm scared and didn't know what to think to do. I should have not stopped her and walked away then. We stay close friends for around 2 weeks after this event with a bit of contention afterwards. There was a time I got super emotional and basically told her I wish there was a camera or a third party watching this to see what you were doing to me with all this rubbing and cuddling and affection, which made her pretty much storm away from me and me saying sorry I'm wrong and begging her to just talk and I have a panic attack. Eventually she realized because of an outside voice that she had to tell her BF. Her roommate walked in on us as that event in her room was done unfolding. She said her BF broke up with her and she needed space. Me being a selfish asshole was unable to do that. I didn't want someone I cared about harming themselves because of me. She stated the day prior she was going to get what's coming to her. I wanted to be there for her more than anything. I get extremely drunk throughout the week and I sent her messages about how absolutely terrible I felt and how much she meant to me and of selfish ideals. I then saw her outside and ran up to her. She ran away and she couldn't even look at me. The next day she said that was unacceptable, which it absolutely was, and even before that event she didn't see room for friendship since it was never real. What does that mean? I still don't understand it. How is it never real? She then blocked me, said she would call the police on me if I approach her again. She would still absolutely avoid me even 2 months after. During that time, after I tried to apologize, I tried to make amends, I tried to give my closure, I tried to seek closure, all met with disgust, hatred, and anger. She would literally will sprint away from me full speed as I stand. She stayed at an event I was presenting at and looked away from me for the whole hour, then very obviously took pictures of me, then sprint away full speed as I sat there. That hurt me beyond belief. I never in my life had someone dead sprint away from me like I'm a monster. I don't know what's wrong with me, or why she would think I would hurt her after everything she knows about me, after everything, but I don't blame her. She said she was sorry for her decisions before this, and I had little to be sorry for, and gave me a blanket, "I'm sorry for my decisions." But how do I have little to be sorry for if I was treated as an abuser? I should hate her guts. She even said she led me on. She knew how bad that would hurt me. She dangled happiness in front of my face for months. She ruined my senior year. She's filled my brain with pain and resentment and betrayal. She caused me to become ostracized, to become an outcast. I never felt that low in my life. I never felt that extreme level of emotional pain. I honestly feel forever damaged. But for some reason, I still have this deep care for her, and I shouldn't. I still hope with all my being she passed and succeeded. I hope she's okay. If she fails or hurt herself over this, I don't think I could ever forgive myself. It feels like she trusted me and I betrayed her, but I don't know. I can't stop thinking how scared and confused and sad she was on the last day we talked. How can I forgive myself for doing that to someone? It haunts my dreams and beats me to my knees every day. I was usually very sad when I was hanging out with her. And if she for some reason forced herself to do those things with me because she felt bad for me, then I don't know how I can live with myself. I never asked for those things, but I should have stopped them. I knew they were wrong. I'm sorry. It's just so unfair. Why not just leave me alone? Why put all this into my head, even after I told her how bad this would hurt me? If I'm not the bad guy, then why put the image of someone in my head sprinting away from me like I'm a monster? There has to be something I'm missing. I don't understand how you can move on from something like this. The closest friend I ever had dead sprint away from me. The person I would talk to every single day for 5 months straight absolutely hates my guts and my whole being. I don't want to try anymore. I gave it all the little I had. I'm not a victim. I'm not a saint. I didn't stop my actions. I played a role and I'm forever sorry. I lost someone I cared about and someone who maybe at one point actually cared about me. I'm sorry. I don't know how to view this. I just want someone to talk to and someone to understand me. I just want someone to tell me I wasn't blind. For someone to tell me this doesn't define me. For someone to say you're going to be okay. Because as of now, I'm two halves for being hurt badly in a relationship. I don't even know what to call this. Any insight I get online, I always have to type in X to get relevant results, which only makes me more confused. She couldn't even wish me happy birthday or give me the present she bought me. I spent it all alone. I graduated college months ago. I have a okay job lined up, which I hate. I have a not-so-great home life. I don't know what to do with myself or how to live with myself after all this. Why would I do this to myself? Why do I struggle forming connections? Why do I hurt people I care about? It felt real to me. I now talk to maybe 2 people, Imbis asterisk Zool, and live in the middle of nowhere and have nobody. I don't want to talk to anyone ever again. There's more to it perhaps. She used to always say, I hope I'm doing him more good than harm, etc. But I don't know how leading someone on who has emotional trauma helps them. Maybe we both should have left each other alone. I really did like talking to her and liked hearing what she had to say, but I'll likely never talk or see her ever again. I don't want to go down this road again. I don't want to hurt anybody. I have panic attacks when I would go to her hallway or if she saw me. It felt like I had to document everything I did. I feel like a weirdo loser. I constantly break down. I spend most of my days sleeping and waking up feeling immense internal guilt and hatred and pain. Anytime I tried to talk to someone about this, I was seen as estranged and disregarded. The only thing I could have done was tell my side with proof and videos. But I don't want to hurt anybody. But it's so unfair. I'm tired of only knowing pain. If you read all this, then I deeply appreciate you. I don't know why I can't understand what happened.